was a good night's rest. Let's see what I have on the agenda for today. I could have swore I'm doing something. I don't know. OMG, I forgot. I'm hosting BlockWars. I gotta go. Shane, Misty, hello? Anyone here? I was told to meet here. Hello? Alright. Bit odd, but I guess they're not here. Wolfie, Athos, are you two here? Or are you two hiding under there? Nope. Alright. Please be somewhere, please be somewhere, please be somewhere. Whew, okay, you couldn't find them. Just take some deep breaths, it's fine. You got this, man. Ladies and gentlemen, I, bentherestudios, shall be your host for this BlockWars event. Today, the games will be as followed. Battle, a PvP battle royale game where players pick kits and face other teams head to head to declare the winners. Blitz Hunt, a fast-paced hide-and-seek game with 7 rounds where one team hunts every round and must seek out other players until the game is over. Extraction, a PvP round-robin game where players are given a crossbow and go head-to-head in 7 rounds, facing a different team. Each time, and once all players are killed on either side, they must extract within the time limit. Overspleef, a free-for-all game played amongst 3 rounds where players must spleef each other and be the last one standing. Party, a multi-round game where 4 different mini-games are played. Good luck. Race, a movement-based game where players must complete laps around a track filled with many obstacles, multiple movement types, and maybe even some shortcuts. Trailblazers, another movement game where players are tested on multiple types of movement abilities, whether they be timed or freestanding, and who knows, there may even be some gold opportunities across the way. Tomb Titans, a team-based player-verse entity where players must explore a dungeon in search of different artifacts and loot, and make sure to escape at the end. And at the end of these 8 games, the top 2 teams will go off and face in Shockwave. In Shockwave, there are attackers and defenders. Make sure to defuse the bomb, keep your cool, and I'll see you at the end of the event. Hi guys, I can't lie. This is probably 4 or 5 days after I recorded all that. I had a power outage for like 2 days. I've been busy with sports and school, so I apologize for that. If I sound a bit different, I'm gonna try to use the same tone, same little pitch. But this is the red comments that consist of Onyx, Not Justin, Cloud, Ava JC, and myself. Realistically, this event is gonna have a lot of people who haven't played, and that's what I'm trying to get at with these events. Is I want to give people who normally probably wouldn't get an opportunity to play to get a chance to play. And again, it's just a roster of my friends who I know, just etc. like that. I mean, on this team, Cloud has played multiple times. Not Justin, Onyx, and I am all newcomers for this event. Cloud has played before. Cloud is typically a top 10, if not, I think a top 5 player. Ava, I don't think has played in a while, but I know that she has played. Realistically, I don't really know that many people in this team. Again, I did get hacked a while ago, or not a while, it was like 3 weeks ago, but I have lost a lot of my contacts. I know for a fact I've spoken to Ava and Onyx since then, so that's, why I put myself here. I think I feel a bit of a place, but who knows. This is the Orange Fighters, consisting of Ghosty Fruit, Mortings, Luigi Tone, Lazies, and Tyrad. Again, this is more of a money SMP team, and if you go back to my Biome Battle video, I think, I normally put my money SMP team on orange or pink. That's because I just think they're the coolest group that I have connections with, more or less. I know that on paper this team looks weak. like Tings, Luigi, Lazies, and Tyrad aren't like mainstream, BlockWars players, but Luigi and Tyrad have for sure played when they did a Money SMP X BlockWars thing. I don't know if more Tings has played in that. Like I know Haley has played for a while, or Ghosty Fruit has played for a while. Lazies is I think like an OG newcomer who's never played the events. I think that Ghosty can probably do a pretty good job at leading. I know that again I know that I called this a Money SMP team. Lazies isn't a part of that, but Lazies is very well connected to it. And again, Lazies is a good friend of mine. She's actually doing a subathon. If you want to go check that out over on Twitch. I'm pretty sure it's Lazies. But yeah, this is a team that I think is going to do kind of well, more or less. And I don't know. I think this team is going to be very interesting if it were to actually happen, in a real event. But I think I can see this team doing probably below, probably third or fourth. Now moving on to the Yellow Thunders, which consist of Space Brownies, Kaylin, Piggles, Just Dash, and Athema. Piggles, Kaylin, and Space Brownies have all played before. Piggles, I don't think he has played in a while, but I think if I asked him to, and depending on what his team would be, I think he would, join back in playing. Kaylin, he still plays to this day. I'm pretty sure his last game was him and Carter were a duo. I think he got top 10. Well, Kaylin should be a top 10 player. I think Piggles can still hold his own for sure, but realistically speaking, I think this team has a good. I think this team is probably gonna get third, if not top 2 teams. Again, I had some more people go over this with me. I think Piggles, Space Brownies, and Kaylin are gonna be top half. I think Dash is gonna be right outside of top half, with probably 28th. I think Athema is probably gonna be a bottom 5 player. No disrespect to her, but I think there are other people who have played before. I think there are other people who have better skill. I think I'm not gonna get bottom 5. That's only because I know a lot about the events and I'm not that bad at the game. But I feel like this team has a pretty good chance to to have a shot in Shockwave. This team is the Green Giants that consists of Bears Cancelled, Brody Bro 9, Tough033, Mr. Pros, and Bubble Brook. This is a more team of friends that I have, or this. See, I would call us friends. I don't know if they would, but Mr. Pros, Brody, and Bear are people who I talk to every once in a while. I know that after I got hacked, I got back in contact with Brody and Bear. I don't think I reached out to Mr. Pros yet. Actually, I have. I'm pretty sure I'm just waiting on a response. But this, from what my friend Shirey pointed out, this is a team that's probably going to get top 2. Because, and hear me out, Toph is a top 3 candidate. If not, he's a top 3 guarantee, person. Brody is probably lower top 10. In this roster, again, this is a roster of people who haven't really played BlockWars before. I think that him and Luigi Tone are going to be very, similar, if that makes sense. I think that Luigi has the factor that he's, played before, but I think Brody just has that raw skill. Bear and Mr. Pros can, they can, both hold their own. Bear, how I predict that this team will go is probably going to be Toph's going to get top 3, no matter what. I think Brody or Bro 9 is going to get anywhere between 7th and 12th. I think Bear's going to be right outside of top 20, or it's going to be I think Bear and Mr. Polish are going to be somewhere between 20th and 25th. They're going to be very close. I think, respectfully, again, Brooke is probably going to get, 30th. Because the only image that, I have from Brooke playing is MCC Rising, which is where, she's most known from. I know that her and Toph teamed in Minecraft Mania. And, I don't know. I think that this team is still going to do pretty well, if I had to take a guess. This is the Aqua Archers that consist of Captain AJX, Rice in Real Time, Mighty Brothers 1. I'm Twiggy and No Name. This is again a Strikers and Friends team. I think AJX, Mighty Brothers, and Twiggy are all like main strikers. Rice is an honorary striker, and No Name is not a striker, but I think he can be very grouped with them. How this team went in my head is Rice has played before, right? Rice and No Name have both played before. I think No Name is gonna get outside of bottom 10. I think No Name's gonna get like 20th, 7th. I think Rice is gonna be a top 15 candidate. I think Mighty Brothers alone, off raw skill and stuff, is also gonna be a top 15 candidate. Twiggy just got accepted into BlockWars Brawl. Good for him. I'm in proud of his team. I watched that application. I do think that it was a good app. Twiggy, if I had to take a guess, because BlockWars Brawl is going to be a lot higher comp than this. I think in this roster, especially if he has, played before. If I had to take a guess, I think Twiggy's probably going to also be a top 15 candidate. I don't think any of them are going to get top 10. I think Mighty might get 10th, maybe 9th. But I think Twiggy's going to be a 15th candidate. I think Rice is going to be 12th. I think AJX is going to be if I had to take a guess, from what I always thought, I thought AJX was always a third frag who's going to be more on the lower end, but not that bad. But from what I've been told, and I looked at stats, but I think because AJX is good. I'm not gonna lie. I think he's a pretty good player. I think me and him are pretty comparable. I think, again, if I say I'm gonna get not bottom 5, I think realistically I'm gonna get probably, 30th, 31st. I think AJX is gonna get. I think that him and No Name are also going to be very competitive. I think he's going to beat No Name. I think Ajax is going to get 26th, 25th. So I think this team is also... I think all these teams, I try to make them as balanced as possible. Again, I have a little group chat with me. Hey, here's what works. And if you also have noticed, this is a Strikers Friends on Aqua. Or I don't know why. I think that all these guys just, fit on Aqua pretty well. And I don't know. I think this team has also a pretty good shot. So this is actually the team that inspired this whole series in the first place, which is the Blue Bandits, that consist of Enderara, Z, O Garfield, X Shatter, Avery Doors, and Shavio. I think this is a really cool team. I think this is probably the best team that I made overall, so far in all this series. So Avery Doors knows Charlie and Ogar and Shavio. I know that for a fact, because I know that for me and Shiri's private game nights, they've teamed together before. Shatter and Ogar know each other. I think Z knows Ogar, and I think maybe Charlie or X Shatter as well. I think that this is a very cohesive team. I know Ogar before has gotten first in Origins, if I'm not mistaken. I know Charlie as a top 3 candidate in mainstream BlockWars. I think he's for sure a top 10. I think that him and Ogar are for sure a top 10 candidate in this sort of roster. I think Charlie's probably gonna get 6th or 7th. I think Ogar probably gonna get 5th or 6th as well. I think that they're gonna be pretty close. If I had to take a guess, I think Avery's probably gonna do around 20. Because Shavio brought this up. I think this team isn't that strong, but I think it's a very good cohesive team. Charlie feels a bit out of place, but that's only because I think he's the main, the most. I think he is the only mainstream BlockWars person who's not in Origins. The people who I know are mostly smaller event players, so they're Origins, the PB Genesis, that kind of crowd. But I don't know. I think Avery's probably going to do around 23rd. I think Shy and Z are going to be very close again. I think Shy is going to outplace me by 3 placements. If not, I think me, him, and AJX are going to be very close. But I know that, for a fact, Shy is bringing, a lot better at Minecraft. I think Z and Origins is typically a top 3 candidate. Or, like, sorry, a bottom 3 candidate. Which, respectfully, I think Z's still going to get within the bottom 5. But, who knows? Next up are the Purple Phantoms that consist of David Morales, Slime XXOT, Ubby, O'Solar, and Jazzybug. This is really just a team of friends. Like, I know for a fact I'd have Slime, Solar, Jazzy, and Debbie all added. I know I've talked to Ubby at least one time after I got hacked. This is I can't lie. This is a pretty strong team. I think this team is gonna be a top 2 for sure candidate. Ubby is, recently he's been getting more in like the lower 10s area, or like if not, I think he's been getting top 15, so top 10. But I think in this roster he's gonna get like 10th, 9th area. I think he's gonna do pretty good. Solar and Slime are very good players. They always they like to talk themselves down and say, "Oh, I'm not good. I'm not this." They're very good players. I think Slime is slightly better than Solar, so I think Slime and Solar are gonna. I think Slime's gonna get like 16th. I think I think that like Slime is gonna get like 14th. I think Solar's gonna get like 16th, 17th. I do believe that they're gonna be pretty close. I know that Debbie has played before in a BlockWars Xtastic Game Nights, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where Debbie played. And Jazzy Bug, I like to say a lot that I'm way better than her. I think me and Jazzy are very comparable. Realistically speaking, I say all the time, "You're a nerd, I'm better." But I think realistically, Jazzy will probably. I think that for as a fact, me, her, and AJX are going to be right next to each other. Like, if this were to actually happen, or, like, if all 3 of us actually played within an event together, it's going to be very, very close. I think this team is for sure a top 3 candidate. Top 2, maybe. I think that team has a better chance than a lot of other ones. And last but not least, the Pink Knights, consisting of Vanity, Nukery, Biscuit, Melissa, and Vintage Applesauce. So, if you can't tell by now, Pink Team is what I try to make the team that, like, I have more, like, they're more my quote-unquote, like, cooler contacts that I know, like, more of the, bigger creators. I think all these guys are pretty well-known. Biscuit, from what I know, he played in the Laguna BlockWars. I did not watch a VOD from that or anything, but I saw a tweet. I'm pretty sure Biscuit got 4th or 2nd. It's one of the two. I think in this roster, he's going to be a top 10. I don't think he's going to be, top 5, but I think he's going to get like 6th or 5th. Nukery plays in mainstream BlockWars. I think he's played in Origins too. If I had to, take a guess. In mainstream BlockWars, he normally averages around 15th to 20th. He's a very consistent player. I think the last time I checked his stats, it was like 16th, 18th, 20th, 22, 60th. Like, he normally gets pretty within the range of each other. From what I know, Melis played. I'm not sure if Melis ever played BlockWars, but I think Mel et al. Is not bad whatsoever. Like, neither is Vanity. I think Mel probably gonna do. If I think that Biscuit's gonna be 6th, I think Nukery has a lot of experience. I think he's gonna be more like 15th range, like 15th to 16th range. Like, I think it's gonna be very close. I think Mel is probably gonna get 20th. I don't know why, but for some reason, again, I've not actually spoken to Mel, but Mel followed me on Twitter, on my old Twitter. Sorry. Again, I don't have access to that anymore. But I'm going to, try to kick back my new Twitter. But I don't know why. I feel like Mel is going to be very dead, like, straight in the middle. I think Mel is going to be 20th and nothing else but 20th. I think that Vanity is going to be probably 25th. I don't know why. I think Vanity is not a bad player whatsoever. But I do think that she's, like, right below the bottom half. I think Vintage Applesauce. I'm trying to remember MCC's R stats. From what I know, I talked to Applesauce one time. That was through her chat, and she's like, "Oh, aren't you the guy who does the tier list? And I was the guy. I still am that guy. I don't do them as often, but I still do them. Applesauce, from what I'm trying to remember, I think applesauce is going to be bottom 8. I don't think bottom 5. I think I'm going to do slightly better. I don't know. I think overall this team is also top 4 candidate. I think all these teams are pretty good teams. I know I've said it over and over. I think, this team's going to do this. I think this team has a good shot. I think this team has a good shot. I think all these teams are going to be pretty closer than what, people would expect them to be. But I don't know. You guys let me know your thoughts. I've been your host, Ben/BenTherestudios. I hope you all have a fantastic morning, evening, night, afternoon, whatever it shall be for you. And I will catch you all in the next video. See ya.